Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this special story time together. Today we are not just reading a biography, we are taking a journey into the life of a person who changed modern music with courage and creativity. This story is perfect for English learners because it uses simple words, clear sentences, and real emotions that are easy to understand. While you read, you will learn new vocabulary about dreams, success, struggle, and confidence. This story is also motivational because it shows how a young boy with big dreams can rise from a small place to world fame. You will see how patience, hard work, and belief in yourself can open doors that once looked impossible. As you read, imagine you are walking beside him, feeling his fears, his hopes, and his victories. We tell this story in a friendly way, like friends talking and sharing inspiration. It is designed to keep you curious from the first paragraph to the last. By the end, you will not only improve your English reading skills, but you will also feel more confident about your own dreams. So relax, enjoy the journey, and let this life story remind you that your future is still being written. Bad Bunny's story begins in a small town in Puerto Rico, where warm air, music, and family life shaped his early world. As a young child, he lived in a modest home filled with simple routines and strong family love. His parents worked hard to provide stability, and their efforts taught him the meaning of responsibility from an early age. Even before he understood the idea of fame, he understood the importance of effort and respect. Music was always present in his house, playing softly in the background during everyday activities. His mother often sang along to songs while cleaning or cooking, and those moments stayed in his memory. He listened carefully to rhythms and melodies, even when he was too young to explain why they fascinated him. Without knowing it, he was building a deep emotional connection to sound. As a child, he was curious and imaginative, often creating small performances for himself. He would sing in front of a mirror and pretend he was on a big stage. These private concerts were not about attention from others but about expressing joy. In those quiet moments, he felt a strong sense of freedom and identity. At school, he was known as a calm and thoughtful student. He was not the loudest voice in the classroom, but teachers noticed his focus and creativity. He enjoyed learning, yet music always pulled his attention more strongly than any other subject. During breaks, he sometimes hummed melodies instead of joining noisy games. His neighborhood was full of everyday stories and colorful personalities. He observed people closely, listening to their conversations and emotions. These early observations later influenced the feelings he would express in his songs. Life around him became a silent teacher, offering lessons about happiness and struggle. Family gatherings were especially important in shaping his personality. Relatives came together to celebrate holidays with laughter and music. He watched adults dance and sing without fear of judgment. These celebrations showed him that music was not just entertainment but a way to connect people. As he grew older, his interest in music became more serious. He started exploring different styles and artists, trying to understand what made songs powerful. He listened carefully to lyrics and rhythms, imagining how he might create something similar. Each new discovery expanded his creative world. Teenage years brought both excitement and confusion. Like many young people, he faced questions about his future and identity. Friends around him talked about practical careers and stable jobs. Part of him wondered if following music was too risky. Despite these doubts, he continued experimenting with his voice and style. He began recording simple tracks using basic equipment. The quality was not perfect, but the passion behind them was real. Sharing these early recordings online felt like sending pieces of his heart into the world. At first, the response was small and quiet. Only a few listeners noticed his work, and growth seemed slow. Some days he felt discouraged, wondering if his efforts would ever lead anywhere. Yet something inside him refused to give up. He reminded himself of the happiness he felt while creating music. That joy became his motivation to continue. Instead of focusing on numbers or fame, he focused on improvement. Each new recording was a chance to learn and grow. Balancing music with everyday responsibilities required discipline. He managed schoolwork and part-time jobs while still making time to create. This routine was tiring but valuable. It taught him that dreams require consistent effort. During late nights, when the world was quiet, he often worked on lyrics and melodies. Those peaceful hours allowed him to think deeply and express emotions honestly. Writing became a personal conversation with himself. Through music, he explored fears, hopes, and ambitions. Support from family played a crucial role during this period. They encouraged his passion even when success seemed uncertain. Their belief gave him emotional strength. Knowing they trusted his dream made challenges easier to face. He also learned to accept criticism as part of growth. Some listeners did not understand his style, and negative comments appeared online. Instead of reacting with anger, he tried to learn from feedback. He understood that improvement required openness. Friendships during this time helped shape his artistic identity. He connected with others who shared creative interests. Together, they exchanged ideas and inspired each other. These relationships created a small community of encouragement. As months passed, his confidence slowly increased. He began to feel more comfortable with his unique sound. Rather than copying popular trends, he experimented with originality. This decision would later define his artistic signature. There were moments of deep uncertainty when the future looked unclear. He questioned whether pursuing music was realistic. Fear of failure sometimes whispered in his mind. Yet his determination always answered louder. He focused on small victories instead of distant goals. Each completed song felt like an achievement. Each positive comment from a listener brought new energy. These small successes built steady confidence. His understanding of the music industry also started to grow. He researched how artists built careers and connected with audiences. Knowledge became another tool in his journey. He realized talent alone was not enough. Time management became one of his greatest skills. He organized his days carefully to protect creative time. Even when exhausted, he returned to music with commitment. This persistence separated him from many who gave up. Through experimentation, he discovered themes that resonated deeply with him. He wrote about personal experiences and emotions he observed around him. Authenticity became his guiding principle. He wanted listeners to feel honesty in every word. As his online presence expanded slightly, new listeners began to appear. Messages from strangers expressed appreciation and curiosity. These connections felt magical and motivating. He realized his voice could reach beyond his immediate surroundings. Despite progress, he remained humble and grounded. He never forgot his beginnings or the effort required to move forward. Humility protected him from unrealistic expectations. It kept his focus on continuous improvement. The environment of his hometown continued influencing his creativity. Familiar streets and everyday scenes inspired his imagination. He carried these images into his music. They added texture and emotion to his work. Late adolescence became a period of intense preparation. He worked quietly, building skills and refining his style. Outsiders might not have noticed dramatic changes, but inside, transformation was happening. He learned patience as an essential quality. Success did not arrive instantly, and he accepted that reality. Instead of rushing, he concentrated on building a strong foundation. Each step prepared him for future opportunities. Self-belief became his strongest companion. Even when external validation was limited, he trusted his inner voice. That trust guided his decisions and experiments. It allowed him to take creative risks. His routine sometimes felt repetitive and exhausting. Yet he understood that consistency created progress. He treated every day as another chance to move closer to his dream. Discipline became a silent partner in his journey. As he approached adulthood, a quiet sense of readiness appeared. He felt prepared for something bigger, though he could not predict when it would arrive. His experiences had strengthened his resilience. He was no longer just dreaming, he was preparing. Looking back at those early years, he recognized how much they shaped him. Childhood curiosity had evolved into focused ambition. Family support had transformed into inner confidence. Music had grown from a hobby into a calling. Standing at the edge of new possibilities, he carried both excitement and uncertainty. The world beyond his hometown was vast and competitive. Yet he felt equipped with passion and determination. These qualities would soon guide him into the next chapter of his life. Part 1 of his story ends with a young artist ready to step forward. He is not yet famous, not yet recognized by the world. But inside him burns a steady fire of purpose. That fire, built through years of quiet effort, is about to illuminate a much larger stage. The next chapter of his life began quietly, almost without warning. After years of posting music online and practicing in private, one of his songs started traveling further than he expected. People began sharing it across social media, and his sound reached ears far outside his hometown. For the first time, he felt the world slowly turning its attention toward him. At first, the change was small but noticeable. He saw his number of listeners growing day by day. Each new follower felt like a personal victory. He spent hours reading comments from strangers who connected with his music. Their words gave him a deep sense of validation and responsibility. Soon, someone from the music industry noticed his work and contacted him. That message felt unreal, like a dream appearing on his phone screen. He read it several times to make sure it was real. Excitement mixed with fear as he realized an opportunity was standing in front of him. Meeting professionals in the industry was a completely new experience. He walked into studios filled with advanced equipment and confident people. Everything looked fast and serious. For a moment, he felt like an outsider entering a different world. Instead of letting fear control him, he chose to observe and learn. He listened carefully to advice and watched how professionals worked. Every session became a classroom where he improved his skills. He asked questions and absorbed as much knowledge as possible. Recording in a professional studio changed his perspective. Hearing his voice with high-quality sound made his dream feel real and physical. He paid attention to every detail, from pronunciation to emotion. Each take pushed him to become better. His early professional songs began spreading quickly online. More listeners discovered his unique style and honest lyrics. Messages arrived from people in different countries, thanking him for his music. He felt amazed that his voice could travel so far. With growing attention came growing pressure. Expectations rose, and he worried about maintaining quality. He did not want to disappoint new fans who believed in him. This pressure sometimes kept him awake at night. Instead of running from stress, he transformed it into motivation. He spent extra hours writing and practicing. He treated every new song as an important step forward. Hard work became his answer to fear. Performing live for the first time in front of larger audiences was unforgettable. Standing on stage, he felt a mix of nerves and excitement. His heart raced as lights shined on him. When the crowd responded with energy, his fear slowly turned into confidence. Each performance taught him something new about connection. He learned how to read the audience and share emotions through music. Applause became a powerful source of encouragement. It reminded him why he started this journey. Travel soon became a regular part of his routine. He visited cities he had only imagined before. Airports and hotels replaced the familiar comfort of home. Although exciting, this lifestyle required adjustment. Being away from family was difficult at times. He missed simple conversations and everyday moments. Loneliness sometimes appeared in quiet hotel rooms. During those moments, he focused on his purpose. He reminded himself that sacrifice was part of growth. Every challenge was a step toward something bigger. Thinking about his early struggles gave him strength. He refused to forget where he came from. As his schedule filled with work, he learned the importance of discipline. Time management became essential for survival. He organized his days carefully to protect his creativity. Even short breaks were used wisely. Not every project succeeded as he hoped. Some songs did not receive the attention he expected. Criticism appeared online, sometimes harsh and personal. Reading negative comments tested his emotional strength. Instead of letting negativity defeat him, he chose reflection. He analyzed feedback and searched for lessons. Mistakes became teachers rather than enemies. This mindset helped him continue growing. Support from his team played a crucial role during this period. He surrounded himself with people who believed in his vision. Their encouragement balanced moments of doubt. Together, they created an environment of trust. Collaboration with other artists introduced fresh ideas. Working with different personalities expanded his creativity. He enjoyed blending styles and experimenting with sounds. Each collaboration added new colors to his music. As his popularity expanded, interviews and media appearances increased. Speaking publicly felt strange at first. He was used to expressing himself through music, not conversations. Slowly, he learned to communicate with confidence. Fans began recognizing him in public places. This attention felt exciting and overwhelming at the same time. He appreciated their support but also valued privacy. Balancing fame and personal space required careful boundaries. Financial success started to appear, bringing new responsibilities. He helped his family and invested in his future. Money represented more than comfort. It symbolized the result of years of dedication. Despite these achievements, he remained focused on improvement. He refused to become comfortable or lazy. Each success motivated him to aim higher. Ambition pushed him forward. Creative risk became an important part of his identity. He experimented with sounds that others considered unusual. Some people doubted his choices, but he trusted his instincts. When experiments succeeded, they strengthened his confidence. He realized originality was his greatest strength. Fans admired his courage to be different. This support encouraged further innovation. Long working hours sometimes affected his energy. Exhaustion became a familiar feeling, yet passion kept him moving. He reminded himself why he loved music. During quiet moments, he reflected on his journey. He compared his present life to his early days. The difference felt unbelievable. Gratitude filled his thoughts. He understood that fame was temporary but impact could be lasting. This idea influenced his decisions. He wanted to create music with meaning. Entertainment alone was not enough. Writing lyrics became more personal and thoughtful. He explored emotions and social themes. Honesty guided his creative process. Listeners connected deeply with this authenticity. Fan interactions remained one of his greatest motivations. Hearing stories about how his music helped others touched his heart. These connections gave purpose to his work. He felt part of a larger community. As months turned into years, his presence in the industry strengthened. He was no longer a newcomer. He was becoming an established voice. Respect from peers increased. Awards and recognition began appearing on his path. Each achievement felt surreal. He celebrated but stayed humble. Success did not change his core values. He continued learning from every experience. Growth remained his priority. Complacency was his enemy. Curiosity kept his creativity alive. The fast pace of his career required emotional resilience. Unexpected challenges appeared regularly. He faced them with determination. Adaptation became a survival skill. Through all these changes, he protected his inner passion. He never allowed business pressures to silence his creativity. Music remained his emotional home. That connection grounded him. By the end of this chapter, his transformation was clear. He had evolved from an unknown dreamer into a rising star. Confidence replaced early hesitation. Experience strengthened his character. Standing at this new stage of success, he sensed even greater opportunities ahead. The journey was far from over. His ambitions continued expanding. He felt ready to explore bigger horizons. Part 2 closes with an artist stepping firmly into the spotlight. He carries lessons from struggle and growth. His path forward is brighter and more demanding. Yet his determination burned stronger than ever. As his fame continued to grow, Bad Bunny entered a new phase of his life where everything felt bigger and faster. His name was now recognized in many places, and his music was playing on radios, phones, and stages around the world. Sometimes he would hear his own song in a public place and pause for a second, surprised by how far it had traveled. These moments reminded him that his dream was no longer small or private. With rising popularity came larger projects and greater expectations. Record labels and producers wanted hits, and fans waited eagerly for new releases. He felt the pressure of delivering something powerful every time. Instead of feeling trapped by expectations, he used them as fuel to push his creativity. He spent long hours in studios experimenting with sounds and rhythms. Music was no longer just about recording songs, it became a deep exploration of identity. He wanted every track to say something honest about who he was. That honesty became the heart of his work. His albums began showing a fearless mix of styles. He combined different genres in ways that surprised listeners. Some people questioned these choices at first, but many admired his courage to break traditional rules. Concerts grew larger and more energetic. Standing in front of thousands of fans felt both thrilling and humbling. When crowds sang his lyrics back to him, he felt a strong emotional connection. Those voices created a shared moment of unity. Touring around the world opened his eyes to different cultures and perspectives. He met people from many backgrounds who connected with his music. Seeing their reactions reminded him that art could cross language barriers. Music became a universal conversation. Life on the road was exciting but exhausting. Constant travel meant little time for rest. Some days he woke up unsure of which city he was in. Despite the fatigue, performing gave him energy. Behind the bright lights, he faced personal challenges. Fame changed how people treated him. Some relationships became complicated by success. He learned to recognize who truly supported him. Protecting his mental health became an important priority. He realized that constant attention could be overwhelming. Taking quiet moments for himself helped him stay balanced. Reflection allowed him to reconnect with his purpose. As his influence expanded, he became aware of his role as a public figure. Young fans looked up to him for inspiration. This responsibility shaped his behavior and decisions. He wanted to represent authenticity and confidence. His lyrics began exploring deeper emotional themes. He wrote about vulnerability, identity, and social issues. These topics added richness to his music. Fans appreciated the honesty and depth. Collaborations with international artists expanded his creative world. Working with diverse talents introduced new ideas and techniques. Each partnership felt like a creative adventure. Together, they built sounds that reached even wider audiences. Awards and nominations started arriving more frequently. Each ceremony felt surreal, like stepping into another dimension. Walking on red carpets and hearing applause reminded him of his journey. He accepted recognition with gratitude. Despite success, he stayed connected to his roots. He often returned to Puerto Rico to recharge emotionally. Familiar places and faces grounded him. They reminded him of the boy who once dreamed quietly. Financial success allowed him to support community projects and causes he cared about. Giving back brought him deep satisfaction. He believed success should create positive change. Helping others became part of his mission. Media attention sometimes created misunderstandings. Headlines did not always capture his true intentions. Learning to navigate public perception required patience. He chose to focus on actions rather than rumors. Creative freedom remained his highest priority. He resisted pressure to follow predictable formulas. Innovation kept his work exciting and meaningful. He trusted his instincts even when risks felt uncomfortable. Fans admired his bold fashion and personal expression. He used style as another form of communication. Clothing became an extension of his artistic identity. It encouraged others to embrace individuality. Long studio sessions often stretched into early mornings. He chased perfection in sound and emotion. Each small adjustment mattered. Dedication defined his creative process. There were moments when exhaustion tested his limits. He questioned how long he could maintain such intensity. Rest and support from loved ones helped him recover. Balance slowly became part of his routine. He learned to celebrate milestones without losing focus. Success was not a final destination. It was part of an ongoing journey. Growth continued to guide his ambitions. His relationship with fans deepened through social media and live events. He appreciated their loyalty and passion. Interacting with them felt personal and meaningful. Their support strengthened his determination. As his music reached new heights, critics analyzed every move. Praise and criticism arrived together. He accepted both with maturity. Each opinion became part of the landscape he navigated. Experimentation continued driving his evolution. He refused to repeat himself creatively. Every project aimed to surprise and challenge listeners. Reinvention became his signature. Through intense schedules and constant change, he protected his love for music. He reminded himself of the joy he felt as a child singing alone. That memory remained his anchor. Passion kept him grounded. Friendships within the industry provided understanding and companionship. Sharing experiences with other artists created mutual respect. They supported each other through challenges. Community eased the pressures of fame. He also discovered the importance of silence. Quiet moments allowed creativity to recharge. Stepping away from noise refreshed his perspective. Solitude became a valuable tool. Public performances evolved into artistic spectacles. He invested time in visual storytelling and stage design. Shows became immersive experiences. Audiences felt transported into his world. As his global presence strengthened, he recognized the power of representation. He proudly carried his cultural identity onto international stages. This visibility inspired many fans. It celebrated diversity and heritage. Challenges still appeared unexpectedly. Scheduling conflicts, creative disagreements, and personal doubts tested his resilience. He approached each obstacle with patience. Problem solving became part of daily life. Learning never stopped, even at the height of success. He studied new production techniques and musical trends. Curiosity kept his mind active. Growth remained essential. By this stage, he had transformed into a global icon. Yet internally, he still felt like a student of music. Humility preserved his hunger to improve. It protected him from complacency. Looking back on his rapid rise, he felt both pride and disbelief. The journey from small beginnings to worldwide stages seemed extraordinary. Gratitude filled his reflections. Every step carried meaning. Part 3 ends with an artist fully established yet constantly evolving. He stands confidently in the spotlight while searching for new horizons. His story continues to expand beyond expectations. And with every beat and lyric, he moves closer to the legacy he is building. As Bad Bunny stepped deeper into global fame, his life began to feel like a fast-moving film where every scene was bigger than the last. He was no longer just a successful artist, he had become a cultural symbol that people discussed everywhere. His influence reached fashion, social conversations, and the way young people expressed themselves. This new level of visibility felt powerful, but it also carried a serious responsibility. He started to understand that millions of eyes were watching his choices. Every word he spoke in interviews and every action he took on stage could inspire or influence others. Instead of feeling trapped by this attention, he chose to use it wisely. He wanted his success to mean more than entertainment. During this time, he began speaking more openly about social issues that mattered to him. He used his platform to raise awareness and encourage conversations. Fans saw that he was not afraid to stand for his beliefs. This honesty strengthened their respect for him. Creative collaborations became even more ambitious. He worked with artists from different countries and musical traditions. Each collaboration felt like opening a new door to another world. These experiences expanded his artistic vision. Working with international stars also taught him humility. Even with his fame, he approached each partnership as a learner. He respected the skills and perspectives of others. Collaboration became a shared journey of discovery. His concerts transformed into massive productions filled with lights, visuals, and storytelling. He wanted every performance to feel unforgettable. Planning these shows required teamwork and imagination. Seeing thousands of fans united in excitement gave him deep satisfaction. Despite the excitement of global tour, the constant movement sometimes left him emotionally tired. Airports, hotels, and schedules blurred together. He missed the calm rhythm of ordinary days. Finding moments of rest became essential. He learned to create small rituals that brought comfort while traveling. Listening to familiar music or calling family helped him stay grounded. These simple habits reminded him of home. They kept his identity strong. As his fame expanded, privacy became more difficult to protect. Cameras followed him in public places, and rumors spread quickly online. Learning to ignore noise was a skill he had to develop. He focused on what he could control. Through all this attention, he continued investing energy into his art. He refused to let distractions weaken his creativity. Studio time remained sacred. Music was still his safe space. He experimented with new themes and sounds that challenged expectations. Some projects surprised even his closest collaborators. Risk-taking kept his work alive and evolving. Fans admired his fearless approach. Fashion also became a major form of expression for him. He used clothing to challenge stereotypes and celebrate individuality. Each outfit told a silent story about confidence and freedom. His style encouraged others to express themselves boldly. With growing wealth came opportunities to give back to communities. He supported charitable efforts and social programs. Helping others brought him a sense of purpose beyond fame. Success felt more meaningful when shared. Media interviews often focused on his rapid rise and unique personality. Journalists asked how he handled pressure and success. He answered honestly, admitting that growth was a continuous process. Transparency became part of his charm. He also faced moments of criticism from those who misunderstood his intentions. Public life meant constant judgment. Instead of reacting defensively, he chose patience. He believed actions would speak louder than arguments. Friendships played an important role in maintaining balance. Close friends reminded him of his true self. They offered support without expecting anything in return. These relationships protected him from isolation. Creative burnout occasionally threatened his energy. After intense periods of work, he felt mentally drained. Taking short breaks allowed his mind to recharge. Rest became a necessary part of creativity. During quieter moments, he reflected on how far he had come. Memories of childhood dreams felt both distant and vivid. He appreciated the journey more deeply than ever. Gratitude filled his thoughts. He remained committed to evolving as an artist and as a person. Learning from mistakes became a guiding principle. Every challenge offered a lesson. Growth was constant and intentional. Fans continued to play a central role in his motivation. Their loyalty and passion inspired him to aim higher. Meeting them and hearing their stories reminded him of music's emotional power. Connection fueled his dedication. As his influence spread into popular culture, he recognized the importance of representation. He proudly celebrated his heritage on international stages. This visibility empowered many young people. It showed them that success could come from anywhere. Business opportunities expanded alongside his music career. He explored ventures that aligned with his interests. Each decision required careful thought. He balanced ambition with authenticity. Even with increasing responsibilities, he protected his inner creativity. He refused to become a product controlled by expectations. Independence remained essential. His voice guided every major choice. The fast pace of his career demanded resilience. Unexpected problems appeared regularly. He faced them with calm determination. Adaptability became one of his strongest qualities. Through success and stress, he never lost sight of his passion for performance. Walking onto a stage still filled him with excitement. The energy of the crowd felt electric. Those moments reminded him why he chose this path. He also grew more comfortable with vulnerability. Sharing personal emotions in his music created deeper connections. Fans appreciated his openness. Honesty strengthened his artistry. As the world continued watching his evolution, he focused on long-term impact. He wanted his work to leave a lasting mark. Legacy became part of his thinking. He aimed to create art that would endure. Part 4 closes with Bad Bunny standing at a powerful intersection of fame, influence, and self-awareness. He has learned to balance public life with personal truth. His journey is no longer just about reaching success but about shaping meaning. And as he looks ahead, he carries both confidence and curiosity into whatever comes next. By the time Bad Bunny reached this stage of his journey, success was no longer a surprise but a steady part of his daily life. He had performed on the biggest stages, worked with world-famous artists, and built a name that people recognized everywhere. Yet inside, he still carried the same hunger that pushed him forward in the beginning. Fame had not erased his ambition, it had sharpened it. He began thinking more seriously about legacy and the kind of impact he wanted to leave behind. Music was still his first love, but now he saw it as part of a bigger picture. He wanted his work to inspire confidence and courage in others. Every new project became an opportunity to send a message. Creating new albums felt different now because his experience had deepened. He was no longer chasing recognition, he was chasing meaning. He spent more time reflecting before releasing music. Each song had to feel honest and necessary. Fans noticed a maturity in his sound and storytelling. His lyrics explored personal growth, responsibility, and identity. Listeners felt they were growing alongside him. This shared journey strengthened their bond. Even with enormous achievements behind him, he refused to slow down creatively. He continued experimenting with fresh ideas and unexpected sounds. Innovation remained his signature. Comfort was never his goal. He also expanded his interests beyond music into other creative fields. Acting, fashion, and cultural projects attracted his curiosity. Exploring these areas allowed him to express different parts of his personality. Creativity had no limits in his world. With greater influence came deeper involvement in social causes. He supported movements that aligned with his values. Speaking up required courage, but he believed silence was not an option. His voice carried power, and he used it thoughtfully. Despite his busy schedule, he made time to reconnect with his personal life. Spending quiet moments with family and close friends restored his energy. These relationships reminded him of what truly mattered. Balance became a priority. He learned that long-term success required mental and emotional care. Therapy, reflection, and rest became important tools. Protecting his well-being allowed him to stay creative. Strength came from self-awareness. Public attention still followed his every move, but he handled it with greater calm. Experience had taught him how to separate noise from truth. He focused on meaningful feedback and ignored distractions. Clarity guided his decisions. As years passed, he started mentoring younger artists. Sharing knowledge felt rewarding and natural. He remembered his early struggles and wanted to ease the path for others. Teaching reinforced his own growth. Watching new talent rise reminded him of his beginnings. He saw pieces of his younger self in their determination. Their energy inspired him to keep evolving. Growth was a continuous circle. He also reflected on the sacrifices required by his career. Missed holidays and personal moments sometimes brought sadness. Acknowledging these feelings made him more human. Success always carried a cost. Instead of regretting sacrifices, he honored them by staying committed to his purpose. Every challenge had shaped his resilience. He accepted both joy and difficulty as parts of the journey. Gratitude balanced his perspective. His performances continued evolving into artistic experiences that combined music, visuals, and storytelling. He treated each show like a living piece of art. Audiences felt transported into his imagination. Creativity guided every detail. Travel still filled much of his life, but he approached it differently now. He learned to enjoy the process rather than rush through it. Observing new places refreshed his creativity. Inspiration waited everywhere. As he matured, his understanding of success changed. It was no longer measured only by numbers or awards. Fulfillment came from authenticity and connection. Meaning replaced competition. He remained deeply proud of his cultural roots. Representing his heritage on global platforms felt like an honor. He carried that identity with confidence. It shaped his voice and vision. Fans continued sharing stories about how his music affected their lives. Hearing these experiences touched him deeply. He realized his art had become part of people's personal journeys. That responsibility humbled him. He often thought about the shy child who once dreamed in a small room. Remembering those early days kept him grounded. The contrast between past and present felt extraordinary. Gratitude remained constant. Looking toward the future, he felt excitement rather than fear. Endless possibilities stretched ahead. Curiosity guided his imagination. He welcomed change as a friend. He understood that careers rise and fall, but character endures. Protecting integrity became his highest priority. Reputation meant more than popularity. Values anchored his path. Creative risks still energized him. He believed art should challenge comfort zones. Every bold decision carried potential for growth. Fear never stopped him from trying. Through all achievements and challenges, music remained his emotional center. It was the language he trusted most. Singing and creating still brought the same joy as in childhood. Passion never faded. He accepted that evolution was natural and necessary. Each phase of life offered you lessons. Resistance only slowed progress. Openness accelerated it. As an established icon, he felt a quiet responsibility to inspire hope. He wanted young dreamers to see possibility in his story. Representation mattered deeply to him. His journey was proof that origins did not limit destiny. He also learned to forgive himself for mistakes. Perfection was an illusion. Growth required acceptance of flaws. Compassion extended inward as well as outward. The rhythm of his life settled into a balance between ambition and reflection. He worked intensely but valued rest. Energy flowed more sustainably. Wisdom guided his pace. Standing at this point in his journey, he felt both accomplished and eager. Satisfaction did not end his drive. It simply gave him confidence to explore further. The horizon still called. Part 5 closes with Bad Bunny as a fully realized artist and evolving human being. His story is not a finished book but an open chapter. He continues walking forward with courage, creativity, and humility. And as his journey unfolds, it carries a simple message for everyone watching. Dreams grow when you protect them with work, belief, and heart. If you enjoyed this story and want more inspiring life journeys in simple English, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join our learning family. Every video is designed to improve your English while motivating you to dream bigger and think stronger. Hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and be part of a community that grows together through stories, lessons, and inspiration. Your support helps us create more content that teaches, encourages, and entertains, and the next great story is waiting for you.